According to Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to surpass the original. Or at least that's what they're aiming for. What's good, my fellow peasants? How are you all doing? When I saw this news article land, I think it was only a couple of days ago, it got my brain a-whirring, but not so much about the article itself, because that was just kind of the standard, what we've had for a year and a half. Tabs are coming out and saying that there's job interviews, critical ones, for really, really important roles, and that they are urgently required, which is comforting news. But what got me thinking was, when is this game coming out? I have been taxing my brain over it, really thinking about it, and I started more thinking about the repercussions of it, and I wanted to share these thoughts with you guys. So we're in 2018 now. Holy crap, the months are just slipping on by. And I wouldn't say we're getting closer to the PS5, but with new stories coming out, like the Xbox One X, for example, apparently the sequel for that is already in design. And in response to that, people have said that Sony are going to look to retaliate against that console, or retaliate before then, and I've even seen some supposedly professional analysts say that it could be coming late 2018, the PS5. Now, I don't believe that for 1 second, but that was one analyst I saw. Others are kind of just typically staying on the 2019, and I say most 2020. But even if we take 2020, I think the date that a lot of people, I wouldn't say agree on, but think isn't too out there and too wild. If this comes in 2020, what the hell is FF7 Remake coming on? Because looking where the project is now, looking how we've taken step backs in dev, and things are going back to the drawing board, it seems. The whole internal development is shifting inwards, and they've cut away all the externals. It kind of makes me think that 2020, even that's going to be a push for the Final Fantasy VII Remake at this point. And I base that purely on Square Enix. Square Enix, their history projects, how long they take to develop things, typically the tone of their articles and the amount of trailers and information they're releasing. Square Enix, they're not these people who they wait 6 months. As much as I'd fucking love them to. They're not the kind of people who just wait 6 months, they release all their trailers, get all the hype going, and away it goes. That's not what they do. They hype every game up for minimum 2 years, sometimes even 3 if we look at 15 and FF13. I can see them plastering every tube station in Victoria to Piccadilly, every bus, maybe even bring back TV commercials. That would be sick. I really think they're going to hit the Final Fantasy VII Remake hard in terms of advertisement, and we're not seeing any right now. Not a whiff, not a scent. I mean, even in terms of sharing images of the new touched up characters, they're not even showing that to us, the public. And I mean, let's just focus on that for a sec. While Square Enix have never said that outright, that the remake is delayed, I think we know it is. And isn't it a bit of a coincidence we're creeping towards 2020? Rumours have started coming out that development kits for PS5 have started going out. And there's been a real hustle and bustle of news going on around the PS5 lately. All of this is building up, and we are really creeping into the next gen, that we suddenly have this moment about 2 years before 2020 where Square Enix are suddenly now saying we're upping the quality on the remake. Doesn't that seem suspicious? We're upping the quality. And while I'd like to think that extends to storyline and fleshing out and how deep they're gonna go, or the combat system, we definitely know one of the things they're talking about is visuals. The visuals, the curse of graphic fidelity. They're now increasing it, and I have to ask why. Why now? Because this is the thing, if the first part was coming onto the PS4, I mean, it really should. It really should, considering, again, you don't see a trailer saying it in 2015, and nearly 5, 6, shit, who knows, could be 7 years later, when the next console generation is out, you don't expect to be buying it on that console. So I know outright that's going to piss so many people off, and quite rightly too. The Final Fantasy VII Remake was a huge thing that pushed me into getting the PS4, although I would be lying if I said I wasn't going to buy one anyway. So I'm thinking, what's going to happen here? Are they going to release one part on the PS4 and 2 parts on the PS5? Maybe that first part will be PS4 and PS5. But if they do that, if they do the first part both consoles, what would be the point? That seems like that would just inflame the situation. So you allow the people to play it on the PS4, but then the other 2 parts, needless to say, they're not going to keep up with the PS4. Needless to say, those 2 extra parts, they're going to change. They're going to capitalise on the PS5 and that console's capability as it comes out and developers start getting more used to it and finding what they can exploit. And that's the thing, I predict so much change between these three titles. I mean, we saw it with Final Fantasy XIII. Not only did the combat system change, not only did the world format, not only did some of the graphical fidelity change, and that was big enough. But now with the remake, the jumps are going to be astronomical. They're going to be huge because, again, regardless of how I see this working, a console generation shift is going to be happening. Now, whether that happens before they start releasing this or slap bang in the damn middle, I really see this getting spicy, and that's why I've kind of now got to look at Sony for this. So Final Fantasy VII in 1997, it was Sony's big boy. They really did back behind Final Fantasy VII. Not only did they cut loads of backroom deals, cheaper deals, give them access, exclusive, intimate access to some of their hardware that they gave no one else, only Square Enix for this title. It was a big game. It was one of the icons of the PlayStation 1, and with the way that this was announced on Sony's stage,
one of the most beloved games in PlayStation and video game history. A treat for everyone.
It got everyone absolutely crazy, and everyone's going, oh, Sony stole the show, Sony stole the show. Sony won E3, they just fucking won it. With that much hype, and how much Sony knows this game, its people, and that intimate, past and relationship that it's had with Final Fantasy VII, I really see them being a big factor in how this all gets released. The potential and the possibility of this being a 2020, I can wait. But if I do have to wait till 2020, I'm going to be expecting to buy this on the PS5. And not just a PS5, but a PS5 exclusive launch title. I think that with how these timings are shaping up, with Square Enix now saying, oh, we're going and looking to increase the quality of it, are you looking to make it PS5 quality? That's my question. And Sony, did you really not look at the Final Fantasy VII Remake, the legendary title that has 11 million unit sales to this day, which in JRPG world is, with such an intimate history, are Sony not going to be looking to capitalise this as a PS5 exclusive launch title? Yeah, there is a damn good chance, because think of how many consoles that will sell, PS5 consoles. I mean, I could see 2-3 million, I'm making that number off the top of my fucking head, but 2-3 million, I could see that many consoles going and selling the PS5. Now, on the flip side, could they still do this as a PS4? Yes, maybe do the first title on the back end of the PS4's life, maybe try to transfer it over into the PS5. I don't know. And that would be cheekier. I think that would be even cheekier of Square Enix to do it that way, and maybe that would be even more profitable for Sony. Sell that on the PS4. Who knows, maybe even that'll be a sort of a back-end ditch sale of PS4s, like even a push of 50,000 sales on a PS4 console just for that. That could be seen as worth it to them. And then rape us and milk us for all of those same schmeckles a year or two later on the PS5. So again, I can see this being a real shite fest. This could be something where they get real greedy and piss us all off, and it doesn't release in the way we want. Again, Unreal Engine 4 is still with the engine being used for it. Is that going to change? Is that going to shift? I've not really researched Unreal Engine 4 and how that plans to come across into PS5. I'm sure there will be, so I don't know what's going to happen. But if the rumours are true, and there's been many of them that PS5 dev kits only within the last 3-4 months have gone out, it would coincide very strongly with all the news we're having about them now suddenly increasing the quality, and I'm going to say I'm going to be getting a PS5 regardless. It's not so much a money thing for me, but especially with Final Fantasy VII Remake, again, going to that point, it's going to be the continuity of it, the tone, the vibe, how consistent will this game feel across 3 parts, if that's what it is. Now, Final Fantasy XIII was bad enough, well, not bad enough, it was good enough that it changed how much it changed, but it wasn't supposed to be one whole coherent story. Like, these remake titles, they're supposed to be going back to back. They're supposed to be one story that's gone into 3 parts, and I think that presents so many problems, so many issues, because a lot of people in their mind, unlike FF13, they see this as one whole product, one whole game, and people don't want to be having to buy across different consoles. People aren't going to be, inevitably there's going to be so many fucking DLCs between the year and a half gap. I mean, is that even going to be a year and a half gap? I kind of thought, based on FF13, again, they made comparisons to that. no more because it's changed. That a year gap between seemed realistic, but with them upping the quality, does that now mean inevitably it's going to take longer to make? The gaps are going to be longer? Definitely got an Achilles heel for listening to fans way too much after a product is gone. We saw that between FF13 and 13.2. Now, they don't so much listen to fans beforehand, which is always the annoying thing. They just typically release their game doing a lot of decisions that even I and most, I think, sensible people would have known wouldn't have appealed to the West, and then they kind of get feedback after, and then they try to make the improvements via DLC format and or in the sequels. And I can see that happening. Again, loads of feedback happening between the 3 breaks, and that inevitably changing and being implemented. It's going to have to stay fresh. And the combat system's going to have to stay fresh. You know, it's not going to be the case that we have one combat system and across the 3 parts over a year and a half, we finally build up to Cloud's coolest limit breaks and Omni Slashes, because it would make the first titles feel really unfulfilling and boring. Each game is going to have to follow the blueprints of a standard game to be a fulfilling experience. It's going to have a newbie combat tutorial start with basic moves and barely all of them unlocked, and then build all the way up until where Cloud's just... and then inevitably when the second part comes, it's going to have to go back to that because people will have forgotten the combat system and they need to build back up again, so the combat system's going to change. Likely the tone of the story, and again as those PS5s come out, which in the middle, there's no way they're going to avoid the PS5s coming out. We sure as shit ain't getting 3 Final Fantasy VII Remake games before it comes out. And with that, we've seen in the cycle of a console, as those dev kits come out, a lot of devs, they're still very... they're still very cold feet. It takes them a while to adapt, basically. And in fact, when those dev kits come out, a hell of a lot of companies start their gaming projects then. They get the kits, see the capabilities, and then build a game from that point on. We're going from a stage where this game's been getting built from 2015 and now. And now this new console with all these new capabilities is coming in, and all of the assets that they must have now, they're going to have to be upgraded or tweaked or completely changed, and that's just going to be even more of a delay. So I foresee a real big nightmare in terms of what I think is going to happen at just a kind of vapid, empty, hollow guess. I think it's all going to be PS5. I think it will be. I think that maybe Square Enix will try to soften the outrage that will inevitably cause by making it also PS4. No, but that'll just delay the outrage, because that'll come back round, because they're not going to be making part 2 and part 3 cross-compatible on a console that at that point will probably be about 2-3 years in the rear-view mirror. So what do you guys think? I know I've contemplated this point to absolute death at this point, and for someone who says he's not actually too bothered about when it comes out, I do go on about it a lot, but it's not so much about the money and whether Sony and Square are going to take this huge opportunity just to take us all to the fucking cleaners. I think there's a great chance of that. I care more about what this is going to do to the quality of the product. I just wish that Square Enix made it more of a habit before they started a project to really listen to fans, listen to what we want, listen to the kind of things that we don't want, because there's definitely a big shit list of that, and not so much use that, but just be aware of what we don't want, rather than just doing it at the end of the game and then adding it as a DLC, because that's tacky, that's when the damage has been done, and there's even the question there of who are Square Enix trying to cater this to. Now, because Japanese and Western players, we've seen the polls, we are vastly different in how we like our games, in how we like our characters. Now, there's a reason why most of their favourite characters are FF13 ones, and ours are not. But regardless of how this comes out, 3, 4, 2 titles on a PS5, some mix between, some mishmashy, messy shit, I will take it on whatever console it goes on, and looking at just the base of that article, I'm going to take Square Enix at their word and treat this as good news. We are looking to increase the quality, and from what it sounds like and the tone of it, in a pretty considerable way. Whether that's for the PlayStation 5 or just because they really want to make this product right, either way I'm happy. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until the next video, goodbye. Cheers guys for making it all the way to the end of my video, and to show my appreciation, I would like to do a giveaway for my Patreon subscribers. I've kind of decided, rather than doing about 7 or 8 prizes in one video, I might just scatter a prize giveaway at the end of every video, and that way we have prize giveaways throughout the month.
victors and winners. So for today, I would like to offer up an FF7 extravaganza of gifts to go with the theme of the video, and the winner today will be getting a selection from FF7 Remake Cloud. Oh yes, in both the black and the purple. I do like my Cloud in purple. We'll also be giving away the Barrett, the new, just straight up stole Rude's thing, glasses Barrett. Pretty dope figurine. Oh, yeah. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Zach Fair is on the offer. We'll also be giving away Sephiroth, the newer Model 1. Anything from the Advent Children line. Basically any cards, any Final Fantasy VII cutouts that you like, or indeed any merchandise if you want a wee little Sephi plush. Or the saddest, most emo plushie you've ever seen with blonde sausage locks. The world is your oyster, the choice is yours. Just let me know either on Facebook, Twitter, or here on the YouTube comment section, or indeed Patreon, the Wall of the Peasants, as this is what this is coming from. Yeah, just can't have this because it's 800 quid. This Cloud looks positively majestic. So here we go. We've got a random number generator, 93, 86. This is live. You can tell I ain't cheating or bullshitting. We've also got a list of all the names here. All of my Pez giveaways. You notice some people on there multiple times. It's because we have different tiers of wally goodness. Best of luck to the winner, and that winner is 303. You are the winner, so let's check it out. 303. The winner is you, Tion Dawnstar. Congratulations, mate. A Pez of the 7th Dawn, the $2 tier. Thank you so much, mate. Again, thank you to everybody who watched this video. Comment, like, subscribe if you get the notion to do it. Or if you're salty because you didn't win, feel free to shitpost me in the comment section. Peace and love, guys.